I'm pleased to say I'm joined by the first ever weekly Dartscast Legend of the Year and one of the players who will be competing in the first ever PDC Asian Championship next week. Paul Lim, thanks as always for the time, Paul. How are you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. In Japan now, so kind of settling in and, working away and play darts and try to qualify for the World Championship again.
Well, the last time we had you on our show was back in November of last year, so we'll circle back to then, and you just qualified for Ali Pali again. What was the preparation like coming in to the World Championship last year with all the restrictions that were still in place in Singapore where you were living at the time?
Oh yeah, that was kind of a really. It takes a lot of you with all those anxiety, on the not sure what's going to happen, and you know, there's so much restriction, there's quarantine involved and things like that. So it's kind of a stress, very stressful. So but now it's becoming better now. So in Japan, in fact, just lifted the quarantine and the testing and all that. So it becomes easier, But still, I think when I come back, if I do qualify to go to the World Championship, and when I come back, I still will have to go through my not quarantine, but just test. That's all. So I think they are just being taking precaution anyway.
Well, the year before you had that excellent comeback win against Luke Humphries. Sadly, that was in front of no fans as the event was played almost entirely behind closed doors. But what was it like last year getting to walk out and play in front of that Ali Pali crowd again?
Well, it's always kind of exciting, but it's tough though. Like I said again, you have to deal with, to deal with the crowd environment, the noise and all that. I mean, but there's no choice. But I think that's what it is, though. I think I wish I could have actually kind of, like I say, be more involved with the circuit over there in Europe and UK, But because of my job, I just can't. So it's a bit difficult. But I still have to deal with it. That's all. Getting through the first round and try to get through and play well, and do a breakthrough. Well, before I retire, what I'm saying? So
we don't want to hear any talk about that just yet. You didn't have to wait long to compete in another World Championship, though. February this year, you were in the lineup for the first World Seniors Championship. We saw on your social media you were practicing with Larry Butler, catching up with some familiar faces. What was it like being back in the practice?
Yeah, pretty good, actually. No, that was pretty good. In fact, like I said again, I wish I could get more involved in that, but I think that my job just kind of doesn't allow me to kind of really go gallivanting, anywhere I want to go. I still got my commitment to the company here to do promotion and to get involved, whatever the company needs me to get involved in. So it's not easy, but they're good enough to kind of like I say again, when they are the major, they would actually kind of work with my time and let me actually go and play that. So my company treats me pretty well. So I'm glad about that.
Yeah, it's good to see you involved in that, and you were involved again for the World Seniors Masters after winning the fans vote to play in the event and putting my cards on the table. Ko Stompe, he's my favourite player, so I was gutted not to see him win the vote. But for you to win the vote, how much did that mean to you to see you've still got that support among the darts fans?
Well, in fact, I was very surprised. Like I said, I know I have my fans, but I knew a lot of other players have their fans too. So I'm kind of pretty honored in a way to kind of be voted in to play that. So it kind of it's a personal satisfaction, whatever it is. But I still want to do well, though. That's the thing. That really bugs me when I just fly over there and I kind of whether I'm able to perform or not, and I just want to perform well because I know I can, I'm saying that's the whole thing. So like I said again, time, there'll be time, and I believe that I'll probably get a breakthrough soon, hopefully.
Definitely, and that event, of course, was held at the Lakeside, a venue steeped in history. Of course, it was where you threw that iconic 9-dart leg. What was it like being back at the Lakeside that week?
Oh, actually, in fact, in that room, when I walked to Lakeside, basically, it just seems so old. You know? I mean, like I said, the building, I mean, it's just, but it brings back a lot of memories because, like I said, we when we went to the players' room, you know, with all the photos and you know, of the players that I played with and I know and things like that, you know, and it just brings back a lot of memories. But obviously, I think it's a shame because I think at the Lakeside, I was with Bob Anderson and then we were looking through, you know, the pictures of our era, the players, right? But our pictures were not up there, and my picture wasn't up there too. Even though I was the only one that ever did a NIDAT, but I don't have a picture up there on the thing. It's just something to do with, you know, the politics in the term in the early days. They just, when we were the one that actually broke away and went into PDC, you know, and they want to kind of put our pictures up there. So that was kind of a sad for me. Sorry.
Well, aside from those 2 trips over here to England this year, as you mentioned, you're now based in Japan. I think you've also been out in America to see family as well. So how good has it been this year to start making more trips again after the last few years where it's been so tough with all the restrictions?
Oh yeah, I think it is. You know, like I said, I'm glad. But you know, like I said again, there's still the anxiety of travel, but it's becoming better because my last trip, in fact, I went to do a job assignment with Darts Live in Hawaii because our distributor is there. So I have a chance to fly to Hawaii, but straight from there I came back again, you know. But it was a good to break away anyway to do something different. But now I think I am basically just geared into this the Asian Championship next week, and just want to do well and qualify again to go. And the other thing too, there might be the chance that I would go for the World Masters too, you know, in Netherlands. Actually, I qualified for that one, playing in the Japan Open. I won the Japan Open, right? This just a few months ago, a couple of months ago actually. So I'm actually qualified, but somehow or other there's some controversy going on. So I'm waiting for the results to see whether I will be able to go or not, you know, to play. So if I could play that, the World Masters, and from Netherlands I will go to carry on with the World Championship. That will be my perfect ending of this year. That'd be great.
And I was going to mention that Japan Open win as well, because we've seen you playing a few events in Japan over the last few months, winning that event. I think you did the double that weekend as well. They're both WDF ranking events, and I think you said that was the first time that you've played steel tipping in Japan for a long time as well.
Yeah, it is. It's a long time. I remember long time ago, maybe 30 years back, I came to play the Japan Open. I won that, you know, and then I played. There was another time. There was the Pacific Cup, you know, and then after that there was and this time. So really, there was a couple of PDC tournament when we have the Asia tour. That was before the COVID anyway. So the selection is basically based on the tour itself, accumulating of points. Going to the different Asian countries to play the PDC Tour Championship. Like, I mean, basically just a tour anyway. But this year they changed it, so because the traveling is still hard. Hong Kong is still, under quarantine, so and I think they kind of the last minute decision is that to do this PDC Asia Championship in Japan. It's probably is a good thing. But very luckily, right, that Japan just lifted a few weeks ago with the situation on visitors. Before they were saying that if you want to visit Japan, you've got to be in a group tour, and now at least it's wide open again. So that is good news to a lot of the players from the other part of Asia that's going to come to Japan, so they don't have to go through the hustle of got to get a group tour, got to get the visa, a special visa to come in. So anyway, but I'm glad that that's good for everyone anyway.
Good to hear that. And soft tip, of course, that's still huge in Asia, and in Japan we saw Darts Live return last month with that premium stage event in Tokyo, the first event I think for 3 years in the soft tip world circuit. How good was it to see that circuit return?
Oh yeah, it is good actually. In fact, I think from next year, I think they're already planning for the full blown. Like I said, what's going to happen in different countries, whether it's going to go to Hawaii or US or all the different basically country location where they're going to host it anyway. So So he's planning. I think next year will be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be back to normal. Hopefully,
Let's get on to what's next for you. And back in June, the PDC announced the first Asian Championship is going to be held in Japan next weekend. When we're talking the pandemic, that's had an impact on the PDC's push in Asia over the last 3 years. So what was your reaction when you saw this new event announced?
Oh, wow, it was great. I mean, in fact, like I said, it has been, we everyone is just wondering what's going to happen. Like I said, again, we really kind of want to get this PDC Asia thing going. Hopefully next year it's going to go back on a tour again. I don't know whether are they going to do this like once a year, like what it is here, right now. But I would prefer to have a tour where we're going to have one in Philippines, one in Singapore, one in Hong Kong and Taiwan, and think the whole of all the Asian countries and do a tour. I think that is kind of really good. I prefer that anyway, than just one tournament, But anyway, I'm glad. Honestly, it was kind of a surprise that this came out this way. But I think the decision was good anyway. We got to get something going anyways to get the players qualified to go to the championship this year.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a 4-day event. You've got $100,000 prize pot. You're going to see players from all around Asia. It's going to be streamed as well, so we're going to be able to watch it. You've got the spots, Ali Pali on the line as well. How much of a boost is this for players in Asia to have this event to have aimed towards for the last few months, and now that it is coming around next weekend, a big prize at the end of it?
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, like I said again, as far as I know, on the social media itself, people are talking about it, and people are kind of, getting all excited and planning. All my friends from Hong Kong are coming in tomorrow, so people that try to qualify, and things like that. And there'll be a lot of Japanese qualifier too to just buy to do the first 2 days of qualifying. I'll be there to watch that too, just to kind of get the feel of the atmosphere, things like that, and then see the players, and then we'll be playing on the Saturday and Sunday. So I'm looking forward to this.
Excellent. And lastly, before we let you go, I always sign off our podcast by encouraging our listeners to enjoy the darts. And I saw on your social media you often sign off by saying your fans to stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy darts. And as someone who's still enjoying their darts in your late 60s, competing with the best, what would be your advice to our listeners who play the game to have that longevity that you've had in the game?
I think it's important that you actually do enjoy the game. Because if you comes to a point that you do not enjoy it, right, and if you want to think about doing it as a profession, then it becomes a really hard push. I think it has to be a combination of both anyway. To the players out there, I always say that, it's like any sports. Like, I enjoy playing golf. I enjoy going fishing. But I'm not a professional golf player, but I still play. But the thing is that if you want to have the longevity, you really have to have the passion for it. I think it's very important. The people that are still playing that for years and years and years, I think they somehow or other in their heart is that they really, really enjoy it. I mean, I do. I get excited every time when I play darts. Even though I play, in a pub with friends and things like that, I still get excited when I do promotions and when I go to the schools to teach the younger generation, the youth program and things like that, which I'm very, very much involved in, because I believe that the future of darts is about, my own passion anyway. I like to see people enjoy and love the game and get better and things like that. So I do my part in getting involved with the high schools and the universities. But as for longevity, I think this is about passion. You really got to. Otherwise, it becomes when you ever think that walking up to the dartboard and it's boring to practice, then I think it's in trouble already. It shouldn't be boring at all. You should have a goal, practice is an incentive for yourself to get better anyway. So it's matter how much you want it. That's the way I feel.
Well, Paul, it's always a pleasure to chat to you. Keep enjoying your darts, and we wish you all the best next week with the Asian Championship and what else is to come in 2022 as well.
Okay, thank you very much anyway. Thanks for calling, and to the fans out there, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy darts.